Hello, everybody. It's Mark McDonald with First United Methodist Church of Batesville again, here to share with you in our daily devotional as we continue our walk through experiencing God, knowing and doing the will of God. This workbook that we've been following for the last 8 weeks continues this week in the 9th week. There are 12 total, so we're getting closer to the end. And today we move into a week of obedience. And these first 2 days that I'm going to share back to back right now are about the word obedience specifically. There's a part 1 today on day 1 and a part 2 tomorrow on day 2. And so as we look at these, we are focusing on the 7th reality of the realities that we've been following. Today in the workbook, you're going to have a chance to go through these and see if you can recall them off the top of your head. So take a look at this drawing for a moment and look at that. These are the 7 realities. God is always at work around you. God pursues a continuing love relationship with you that is real and personal. God invites you to become involved with Him in His work. God speaks by the Holy Spirit through the Bible, prayer, circumstances, and the church to reveal God's self, His purposes, and His ways. God's invitation for you to work with God always leads to a crisis of belief that requires faith and action. Number 6, you must make major adjustments in your life to join God in what God is doing. And lastly, and what we will focus on this week as we begin our work, you come to know God by experience as you obey God, and God accomplishes God's work through you. So of these 7 realities, we've come to that. Today, it strikes me that one of the phrases in the workbook may jump out at you about how obedience is an outward expression of your relationship with God. When I do weddings in the United Methodist Church, one of my favorite parts of the wedding is when we present the wedding ring that we have. And one of the things that comes in our liturgy is that we say the wedding ring is an outward and visible sign of an inward and spiritual grace. Does it represent the love between the couple? Of course, but it represents a deeper love of God. The wedding ring has that circle, that's that eternal love that starts before us, goes after us. And so that is what we're asking for God to bless in that wedding relationship and that marriage that we have. When 2 people come together in that love, they're asking for God's eternal love to be part of our everlasting love. And so as you begin the study today, I want you to think about what this offers. Really, there are 3 questions that the workbook challenges us to realize what obedience does, because it is the outward expression of our relationship with God. First, it says, will you follow God? Will you follow in Jesus' footsteps? Secondly, it says, will you experience God's work through you? And lastly, will you grow even closer to God? So as we begin with that word obedience, that can be a weighty word, but it is an invitation into something that draws us even closer and more in love with our God. Enjoy the workbook today and be a blessing in all that you do.